Did you know that with every personal accident insurance policy that you have, that you've seen, there is always going to be three core benefits that should never, ever be left out. And that's with any personal accident insurance policy. And we're going to tackle these three topics, these three benefits today. What's up? You're watching Tito Talks, non-life insurance discussions with me, Miguel, who's always happy to make non-life insurance topics easier to understand for both agents and clients. Magandang araw po sa inyo. Thank you so much for dropping in with us once again today. Pasensya na po. I do understand my uploads come a little bit late at night, but you do have to understand this is practically the only time I do get to shoot content for you, my valued watchers. And with today, I have something very special lined up for us. It's another personal accident insurance topic. And if you missed our primary personal accident insurance video, I'm going to link it up right here. You can take a look at it if you have the time before getting into this one. Because in today's video, we're going to talk about the three core benefits of a personal accident policy. And what's interesting about these three things is that no matter where you look, no matter who you're buying from, even if it's not from your favorite tito, you can guarantee that these three core benefits are always going to be there, because that's part of the mandate by the Insurance Commission. And without further ado, let's go enumerate these three core topics for us today. As far as the insurance policy goes, you've got three, and that'll be your accidental death benefit, your permanent and total dismemberment or disablement, and finally, your medical reimbursement. So let's talk about the first one, which is our accidental death benefit. The primary benefit of a personal accident insurance policy, which will have to be the accidental death benefit. The primary benefit, it is the most sought after benefit, and it is at the core of the personal accident policy. And the premise of this particular benefit is really very simple. If in the event of an accidental death, which means death due to an accident and not of natural causes, the owner of the policy is entitled to the full face value of the sum insured indicated on the policy. That is, whatever the agreed amount on is on the policy, depending on the product that the customer has. There are policies that have sum insureds of up to 250,000, 500,000, and even going up to 1 million pesos. If you're talking to a particular provider, they may already have pre-packaged options for you wherein the premium is fixed as well as the sum insured. So whatever is there on the sum insured, whatever is there on the face of the policy, that's how much the insured is going to get. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, the insured's dead already. What are they going to do with the money? This is why the amount or the benefit, which is given out most of the time as a check, is given out to the insured's next of kin. By definition of law, that would mean their immediate family, their wife and their children, the immediate people who will be surviving the insured after that particular accident, or the legal representative or the legal beneficiary if the insurer or if the insured has dictated that they want the benefit to go to someone very, very specific. Now, there are a couple of things that are interesting about this particular benefit, and one of the most interesting facets about it is the fact that the death can be attributed to the accident within a period of 180 days. That's roughly 6 months. In short, this means that in order for the accident insurance to be fulfilled and in order for the accident insurance to pay out, the insured has about 6 months to die from the point of the accident. So for those of you who are wondering, does the insured have to perish immediately from the accident? Dead on arrival po ba kailangan? Not necessarily. There is a provision, or the benefit itself specifically dictates that if the death falls within 180 days from the point of the accident, then yes, it is attributable to the accident and therefore indemnifiable by the policy itself. Bet you didn't know that. Now, with that being said, that takes care of the primary benefit. And take note, it only responds in accidental causes of death, which is to be taken differently against natural causes of death. Examples of that include strokes, heart attacks, contracting diseases such as cancer, kidney failures, so on and so forth. When we talk about accidents, we mean violent, unexpected, unforeseen, and potentially lethal accidents. And those are the kinds that a personal accident policy is guaranteed or is aimed to provide coverage against. Now let's talk about number two, which is your permanent and total disablement or dismemberment benefit. One of the most interesting things about this benefit is even if the customer is not dead, it treats the customer the same way, as if they did die, because it functions in the same manner as the accidental death benefit. That means if the customer goes through and ends up with total, and not just total, but permanent paralysis, in short, pangkalahatang panghabang buhay na pagkabaldado. If that happens to them, they are also awarded the full amount, face value, sum insured, indicated on the policy. So it's treated the same way as death. But you gotta be very careful about this partial dismemberment and disablement. And I'm pretty sure you're wondering, what's the difference between disablement and dismemberment? While they may mean or while they pertain to the same outcome, and that outcome being you cannot use certain appendages on your body, can't use your hands, can't use your arms, can't use your feet, can't use your legs, and some of your other senses like your ears and your eyes, there is a slight difference between disablement and dismemberment. With disablement, you can't use them, but they're still there. Can't use your hand, but your hand's still there. Can't use your legs, but your legs are still there. On the other hand, dismemberment, from the very name itself, the appendages are not usable because they're no longer there. It's either they've been removed forcefully during the accident or they've been removed by medical staff during operations to save the life of the insured. Nonetheless, if it is total and permanent, meaning wala na pong galingan, galing po dyan, then they are awarded the same full benefit on the policy. Now, you may be wondering, what if I'm not totally disabled? What if I just lose a hand? What if I just lose an arm? What if I just lose a leg? I can still walk, I can still work. Do I still get something from the policy? We've actually answered that in the first video about our personal accident insurance policies, but let me answer it in this one as well. You still get something. Not to worry. It's just that it's not as much as your accidental death or your total and permanent disablement. Now, here's an interesting thing that you probably didn't know. Even if you did not lose any of your body parts, if you lost control or totally lost both your hands, you're given 100% of the benefit as well. Yes, that's right. If you lose eyesight in both your eyes, you get the full benefit as well. Bet you didn't know that, right? Now, besides that, there are other varying levels of disability. While they may be permanent, they are not total. Such as, like we mentioned earlier, losing your hand, losing your arm, losing your leg. There are corresponding percentages of the sum insured that are guaranteed to the insured within the policy. Don't worry, your policy will have these values indicated in black and white, so you know exactly what you're getting based on what happens to you. And that leads us to our final point, and that is benefit number 3, your medical reimbursement. One important thing to note about your medical reimbursement benefit is that it is taken differently and it pulls from a different portion of the policy. And you can expect that this benefit does not pay out the same amount as the earlier two benefits, that being accidental death and permanent total disability. Ibahin ang medical reimbursement. Now, the name itself is pretty self-explanatory, wherein the insurance company reimburses the insured for their hospital expenses. Take note, reasonable hospital expenses. Nurses' fees, operating fees, specialist fees, surgeons' fees, doctors' fees, pharmaceutical products, you name it, it will cover it. However, like I said earlier, it does not cover the same amount as the earlier two benefits. It will have a considerably lower amount of coverage compared to the other two. And to make things even more interesting, some insurance companies divide this benefit into two specific sections. You've got medical reimbursement for motorcycle-related accidents, and then you've got medical reimbursement for non-motorcycle-related accidents. Keep an eye out for those on your policy, as they do create a very fine line in between what types of accidents get what types of benefits, with considerations towards the more prominent and more common motorcycle-related accidents, especially here in the country. I do believe I owe you guys an insurance word for today, and you guys are gonna love this. A very commonly mispronounced term, and I'm gonna pronounce it the way I hear it all the time. Don't say this with me. Beneficiary. Yep, that's the term. And the term beneficiary means that this pertains to the person designated to receive a specific benefit from a particular insurance policy. If you're talking about a victim of if you're talking about accidental death, the beneficiary is going to be the insured, or is the next of kin of the insured. In other cases, such as your permanent and total disability, the beneficiary will be the insured themselves. Now let me show you how it's really done, and you can say this with me. I hope you get rid of that terrible emphasis. Say this with me one more time. Beneficiary. Take note of the difference in emphasis. I emphasize the different syllable of this particular word. Don't emphasize the shari in beneficiary. You emphasize the middle fi syllable of the word, beneficiary. Don't forget the schwa right at the end. And I hope you have fun practicing that word. I guarantee you'll sound a lot smarter and you'll sound a lot cooler once you've mastered this pronunciation. And with that being said, let's recap what we've got here today. 3 core benefits of your personal accident policy: your accidental death, your permanent and total disability or disablement or dismemberment, and your medical reimbursement. Be sure you get all those 3 when you're buying your insurance policies. And with that being said, once again, this is your Tito Miguel, who loves to say, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.